we are used to trusting our eyes. It seems to us that the world is a solid, understandable, and objective object that simply lies before us. But let's look into that dark room where our consciousness dwells. Your brain is locked in the bony box of the skull. There is absolute darkness and total silence. It has never seen the sun, never heard the sound of rain, and never smelled the aroma of morning coffee. All it receives are faint electrical impulses running along nerve fibers. Your eye is not a camera lens. It is a complex device that converts photons of light into electrical code. And this prisoner in the dark, your brain, must assemble a picture of the world from these chaotic signals. What you see before you right now, a table, a window, a tree, or a phone screen, is not reality itself. It is a hallucination that your brain has constructed based on data. We live inside a model that we draw for ourselves. The Cheshire Cat paradox. Imagine the famous cat from the fairy tale. The smile remains when the cat itself disappears. In brain science, this image is fundamental. There is a thought experiment about a cat in a box. Until we open the lid, the cat is in a state of uncertainty. It is both alive and dead at the same time. This sounds like madness, but at the micro level, our world is arranged exactly this way. The role of the observer, that is, your role, is primary. The world is the way it is only because a human is looking at it. If we removed all observers from this universe, people, cats, birds, insects, would the world remain the same? Would the grass be green if there were no one to look at it? Physics says no. Without an eye capable of catching a wave and interpreting it as green, that color simply does not exist. There is only an electromagnetic wave of a certain length. We are the creators of this reality. We paint this gray world with colors through our senses. Windows to nowhere. Now imagine the most terrifying thing. What happens if you close all the entrances? If you deprive the brain of sight, hearing, and touch? One might think it would fall asleep. But no. The brain is the most active consumer in the universe. Information is vital for it. In conditions of total isolation, sensory deprivation, the brain begins to rebel. It cannot remain silent. It starts producing hallucinations so powerful that they become more real to the person than the ordinary world. This proves one important thing. Everything we call reality is a product of our internal production. When we dream, our brain works almost as intensely as when we are awake. For the brain, there is no big difference between what it saw with its eyes and what it invented itself. This is both frightening and fascinating. We are hostages of our own interpretation. Who makes the decision? One of the most shocking facts of modern neuroscience is related to the moment of decision-making. We are used to thinking, I wanted to lift my arm, and I lifted it. I am the master of my body. But experiments show a chilling picture. Using sensors, scientists have seen that the brain makes the decision to perform an action, for example, pressing a button several seconds before the person realizes it. First, a readiness potential arises in the brain. Neurons agree among themselves. A decision is made. And only then does the thought come into consciousness. Oh, why don't I press the button? It turns out that our eye is not the captain of a huge ship turning the wheel. Rather, it is a passenger who is allowed to hold onto a decorative wheel so as not to get nervous. The brain makes decisions itself, and it simply informs us about it after the fact, politely allowing us to believe it was our idea. The world through the eyes of others. We will never know what it's like to be a bat or an ant. We look at the world through human glasses. We have a certain range of hearing, a certain vision, but the world is infinitely wider. Bees see ultraviolet patterns on flowers that are just solid colors to us. Dogs live in a world of smells that is a blank page for us. We live in the bubble of our perception. And the most interesting thing begins when we try to look beyond the boundaries of this bubble. Can we know objective truth if our main tool, the brain, is itself part of this system? It's like trying to lift yourself up by your own hair. Part 2. Architects of memory and ghosts of the mind. Many of us imagine our memory as a huge library archive or a computer hard drive. We think that somewhere deep in the convolutions lie neatly folded folders labeled "My first day at school," "The taste of grandmother's pie," "First date." We think that when we need to remember something, we simply go into this archive, take out the necessary file, and view it. But the truth is much more frightening. Memory as a static storage does not exist. Every time you remember something, you are not reading information, you are creating it anew. In neurophysiology, this is called the process of reconsolidation. Imagine taking an old drawing, erasing it with an eraser, and drawing a new one on top, slightly changing the details. Every time you bring a memory to light, you overwrite it. And at that moment, your current mood, new knowledge, and even random thoughts are woven into it. In 10 years, your memory of an event may have nothing in common with what actually happened. We are walking collections of myths about ourselves. We don't just remember our lives, we constantly edit them, cutting out unsuccessful scenes and adding special effects where we lacked heroism or feelings. False memories, when the brain lies for salvation. Scientists have conducted striking experiments. A group of people was fed false details about their childhood, for example, that they once got lost in a mall or saw an unusual character in Disneyland. After some time, the people began to remember these events in minute detail. They described the clothes of passersby, their fears, smells, and sounds. Their brain completely built a reality that never existed. This leads to a terrifying question. How many strangers or invented stories are in your head? We absorb movie plots, parent stories, and news, gradually making them part of our biography. The border between "I saw this" and "I heard about this" is extremely blurred for the brain. Why can't we forget the excess? Have you ever wondered why the brain remembers some stupid commercial jingle from 20 years ago, but stubbornly forgets a formula from a textbook or the name of an important person? The fact is, that the brain has its own criteria for importance. For it, important is something related to strong emotions or survival. Evolutionarily, it was more important for us to remember which bush the tiger was sitting in than the names of the world's capitals. The problem is that the modern world is overloaded with information, and our biological computer is starting to choke. We live in an era of informational obesity. If we don't let the brain rest, it will start discarding important connections, leaving only loud but useless noise. Language as our consciousness. Language is not just for communication. Its main function is thinking. We think in words. The structure of the language you speak determines how you see the world. For example, in the languages of some tribes, there are no words for left and right. They only use cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. Members of these tribes orient themselves in space with incredible accuracy because their language forces the brain to constantly track the Earth's magnetic field. If there is no word for a certain color in your language, your eye will see it, but your consciousness will skip it as insignificant noise. Language is the very glasses through which we look at reality. We don't just describe the world with words, we create the world with words. And when we learn a new language, we actually gain a second personality, another version of reality, the mirror without a soul. Today, we talk a lot about artificial intelligence. We fear it will become smarter than us. But I emphasize, intelligence and consciousness are different things. A computer can beat any human at chess or write complex code, but it doesn't understand what it is doing. It has no pain, no joy, no fear of death. It is just an incredibly fast machine for processing numbers. The tragedy is that we are starting to adapt to algorithms. We start thinking like machines, simplifying our feelings to likes and short phrases. Our greatest value is our irrationality, our ability to make mistakes, believe in the impossible, and feel the taste of lipstick that cannot be digitized. If we turn into purely logical beings, we will lose to computers on their field. Our strength is in our humanity, in those very mistakes and dreams that do not fit into any algorithm. Part 3, Quantum Leap into Eternity. Where does our eye live? We have reached the finest border. If the first part showed us the illusion of the world, and the second, the fragility of our memory, then now we must ask, who then realizes all this? Who is this inner viewer watching the movie called My Life? For a long time, rigid materialism reigned in the scientific community. It was believed that consciousness was simply steam produced by the brain, just as the liver produces bile. Disassemble the brain into atoms, study every molecule, and you will understand how a human works. But the deeper we dive into neurons, the clearer it becomes. Something is wrong here. The brain as a radio receiver. Imagine an old radio. If you take it apart, you will find boards, capacitors, and wires. But no matter how closely you study them, you won't find the announcer reading the news or the orchestra playing a symphony inside. The music is not inside the device, it is in the air, and the receiver only tunes into the right wave. Some great minds of today suggest that our brain works in a similar way. Perhaps consciousness is not a product of the brain, but a fundamental force of the universe, and the brain is only a sophisticated biological tuner capable of catching this signal. If the receiver breaks, the music does not disappear, we just stop hearing it. This completely changes the view of life and death. If our I is a wave, then the physical body is only a temporary shell for its manifestation. The secret code of the soul. People often ask, where is the soul? Can it be seen on an MRI? The answer is simple and complex at the same time. It is not there in the physical sense. Searching for the soul in the convolutions of the brain is like searching for the meaning of a poem in the chemical composition of printing ink. Yes, the ink exists, the paper is tangible, but the meaning is something born in the space between the text and the reader. One prominent surgeon and scientist who operated on thousands of people once said, "I have opened the skull many times. I saw the brain there, but I never once saw the mind there. I saw flesh, but I didn't see the soul." The soul is not an object, it's a process. It's the music our biological orchestra plays. And weighing the body after death in hopes of finding the 21 grams that flew away is a task for the naive. The soul has no weight because it is not of this world of measures and weights. Quantum consciousness and freedom from algorithms. Why do we still fear that robots will replace us? Because we have forgotten our main superpower, irrationality. A computer always acts within an algorithm. Even the most advanced artificial intelligence is just an overved statistical calculator. It can predict the next word, but it cannot experience an epiphany. Real creativity is a quantum leap. It is when an idea is suddenly born out of nothing that does not follow from previous experience. We have the ability to break rules, to make mistakes that eventually lead to great discoveries. We can feel qualia, the subjective sensation of quality, the coldness of ice, the redness of a sunset, the bitterness of loss. A machine can measure the temperature of ice or the wavelength of red, but it does not know what cold or beautiful is. Eternal dialogue with the void. We live in a strange time. We know more about distant galaxies than about what happens between our ears. Our brain is a mirror of the universe, and perhaps the universe created us specifically so that through our eyes it could look at itself and be amazed. When you fall asleep tonight, your consciousness will again go on a free float. The brain will begin its mysterious night work. It will weave the fabric of your dreams from scraps of daily impressions, ancient fears, and future hopes. It will rebuild itself, creating new connections, so that tomorrow you wake up a slightly different person. Remember, you are not just a set of biological data. You are an incredible, one-of-a-kind experiment of the universe. You are that very observer, thanks to whom this world gains color, sound, and meaning. Silence, darkness. Only the rhythmic heartbeat and the quiet hum of neurons transmitting signals. falls silent, turning into a fog of probabilities. Now, when you close your eyes, your personal hallucination of reality slowly dissolves, giving way to pure peace. Do not fear this darkness. New worlds are born in it. Sleep soundly, knowing that your music will sound forever, no matter what frequency your receiver is tuned to.